Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And today, as we work our way backwards through the alphabet, we are dealing with Franz Krommer, František Krommer, one of the really good composers of the classical period who was not Haydn, Mozart, or Beethoven. His years were 1759 to 1831. He was Czech, and as I pointed out in my recent discussion about his sextets for winds, he's known for his music for wind ensembles, even though he spent most of his time, he was a violinist, writing string quartets and other chamber music for strings. He wrote, I think, more than 100 string quartets. There's lots and lots and lots of music. And everything that I've heard has been really good. I don't mean it has to be the most memorable thing in the world, but it's well crafted and full of good tunes and structurally sound. And I mean, he really knew what he was doing. You know, his life overlapped that of Mozart and Beethoven almost entirely. I mean, you know, he was born in 1759, so it's 3 years after Mozart, and he died, 4 years or so after Beethoven. So he was, you know, the classical period, and he's as good as unknown. It's only because various, wind ensembles like Consortium Classicum and some of these other people have, rediscovered his music that we begin to have the opportunity to hear his work. And, it's just lovely. So I have a pretty good clump of it down here and a good clump of it up there as well. There hasn't really been any systematic effort to exploit his music. He wrote a lovely batch of symphonies, especially the later ones, where he really mixes the Viennese classical style with Czech folk music, sounding sort of like a proto-Dvorak or Smetana. Really, really intriguing. Another slant on the classical period. It's not just the usual crew, that we're used to. There are other fine composers. So let's just see what we have here on Naxos with the Michael Thompson Wind Ensemble, his partitas for a wind ensemble, which are really, really good. These are mostly big 4-movement works, 21 minutes, 18 minutes. One of them, if it's only 3 movements long, is 25 minutes, and it has 2 solo horns. They're really fun to listen to. And like I said, they're full of good tunes, and they're confidently written. And if you like music for wind ensembles, you've got to hear this guy, because he was a major writer for that particular configuration. Here we have, let's see, on Glossa, Nachtmusik with Erich Hilprich, Bohemian Winds, music of Franz Krommer. Oh, we have more partitas. He wrote like a whole bunch of partitas. Partitas are generally light, divertimento-like works, but these are substantial. They're symphonic. They really are in their length and in their substance. He also wrote variations on a theme by Pleyel and trios for 2 clarinets and viola. Well, that's an interesting sort of thing, isn't it? So those are fun. And then we have this thing on Denon. Clarinet concertos. Oh, yes, his clarinet concertos are lovely. Absolutely lovely. There's one in E flat, one in E minor, which is a late work. It's his Opus 86. The Sinfonia Concertante for flute, clarinet, violin, and orchestra, which is in 5 movements and has all kinds of fun solo things going on. This is with Paul Meyer, Jean-Pierre Rampal, Janos Rolla, and the Franz Liszt Chamber Orchestra. They did all that stuff on Sony. Well, here they're on Denon. Probably Krommer was too interesting for Sony to want to bother with. Then we've got Symphonies Opus 40 and Opus 102 with the London Mozart Players under Matthias Bammert. You should hear these symphonies. Like I said before, the CPO edition of them is excellent. This is very fine also. They're quite beautiful and quite distinctive. They're not like Beethoven quality, heaven-storming things. They're more, in the tradition of Haydn and Mozart, a little bit later Haydn and Mozart, but they are lovely, and they are fun, and they do have personality. So what do we have here? We have 2 more volumes. La Grande Partita with the Zurich Wind Octet. 4 partitas, Opus 71, 73, 77, 78, and Opus 79, 69, 57, 67. 2 volumes on the Tudor label. Now, a lot of these were reviewed at classicstoday.com, I want to point out. So if you're curious, look up Krommer at classicstoday.com and read those reviews, since most of them are by me. But I mean, it's not just that. It's that it will help you triangulate and decide what you want to discover. So these are wind octets, these partitas, by the way. And oh my goodness, they're just so much fun. So we've got those two things. Then we've got more partitas with the Budapest Wind Ensemble under Kálmán Berkes, I guess is his name. Well, we've talked about the partitas now, so you get it. Multiple recordings of those because, we need more music for wind ensemble. And the clarinet concertos, also with Kálmán Berkes, he's clarinet and conductor with the Nicholas Esterházy Sinfonia. And there's a concerto for 2 clarinets in E flat, opus 35. Ooh, baby, 2 clarinets tootling along. Meanwhile, let's see, opus 91. They're all in E flat major, by the way. All of these. Are they the same ones? I think they are. Hang on one second. E flat major, opus 36 and opus 86. Here's opus 36, but there's also, another concerto for 2 clarinets, opus 91. That's what it was. Right. There are 2 for 2 clarinets, and then the one that was on the Denon disc. And then last but not least, he did a lot of clarinet writing. You have to remember, in his lifetime, the clarinet was sort of like a new instrument that really came into its own. And it was particularly popular in Vienna, where the Statler brothers, who are clarinetists, were able to popularize the instrument and show what could be done with it. So here we have 6 clarinet quintets. Yeah, well, there are 5 numbered ones, opus 21, numbers 1 and 2, opus 82, opus 83, and opus 69. And then there is a posthumous one in B flat, in case you care. And they are lovely. This is with Dieter Klöcker from Consortium Classicum, along with the rest of Consortium Classicum, and some string people to help move it along. And oh, they're delightful. Absolutely delightful. That's on CPO. So Krommer is someone worth looking into. There are, as you can see, this is the Overflow room, but there's a lot of stuff of his now that's available. And most of it's chamber music, and most of it is as good as unknown. So you can dip in just about anywhere and find, some sort of combination of instruments or things that you think would be interesting and give it a shot. You won't be sorry. I guarantee that. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.